A lot of people feel that Trump is racist. And what do you say to that? You know, in 73, of course, it was when he got sued for not renting to African Americans. And 89, when he took out the ad in the paper. And I mean, even saying Obama wasn't born here and show his birth certificate. And there's numerous things. So what do you say to that?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I've known this man for 16 years. And, you know, you can go to each of those incidents and, you know, there was never any proof of anything with the houses that you're talking about.
He settled out for that, though.
Yeah, they settled that. And there was no admission of anything there. You know, Central Park 5. There were so many people. You had a Democrat, DA who prosecuted the guys, and they admitted to it. There were a lot of people in New York
at that time. They were exonerated and freed, and there was never an apology, never sorry, never a my bad.
However, I will say that you have to look at somebody and what they actually have done, and Donald Trump really was very beneficial to the Black community when he was in the White House. I will say I've never seen this man say a racist thing. I think the attacks are fairly... Why is that funny, Charlamagne?
Yeah, he laughed because that is laughable. First of all, even if like you chose a random person, I would trust their evaluation of whether Donald Trump had said something that was racist more than Lara Trump. I don't know Lara Trump. I don't know her heart, but I'm going to say there's a chance maybe she doesn't have the most evolved view of race relations. But regardless, Donald Trump definitely does not. Now, when you say that someone is a racist, you can mean different things. You can mean that they support white supremacy or systemic racism. It can mean that you think they're personally bigoted. It can mean that you think they say racist things, they use slurs. Regardless, we can debate some of those. Donald Trump did participate in housing discrimination. Applications for housing from people of color had special designations so that they could be weeded out. I don't care if as the result of a settlement, he doesn't admit fault. That's what settlements are. It's a tool in our society that allows rich people to avoid the consequences of their actions. I understand that even if you're pretending not to. But we know what the evidence was. We know what he did. We know that on The Apprentice, he wanted to pit white versus Black applicants because he thought that would be dramatic. And he also questioned whether it would make sense to give the top award the first year to one of the Black participants because, will people accept that? Look, you can label that bigoted or prejudiced or racist or whatever you want. What it isn't is awesome. What it isn't is understanding of these things. Donald Trump is a guy who does not evaluate people of different races the same way. He just doesn't, okay? We can debate the different evidence and everything, but there is a reason that after all that we've seen from Donald Trump, Charlemagne would laugh at what Lara Trump is saying. And I want to give you a little bit more of what he had to say. Take a look.
It's hysterical, but I mean,
but no, Charlamagne,
because people act like there's no such thing as Google, or we don't have TV, we don't have radio.
What is it that you think that he said?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
This morning, a bitter backlash after President Trump referred to Haiti and African nations as S-hole countries during a meeting on immigration Thursday.
Here's what I'll say. You know, this is a man who, as I said in the beginning, was beloved by so many people in this country, and he was friends with everybody. You go
a lot of celebrities.
Jesse Jackson, by the way,
please
his Rainbow
don't do
Coalition.
That. He had Black friends. That's not going to work.
No. He let them stay rent free in one of his buildings. The Rainbow Coalition, because he felt like at the time that was a very important thing.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
That's a great point from the other host. Please do not do the he had Black friends thing. And that, again, that tells you what you need to know about Lara Trump. That she would think that is evidence that he is not in fact racist when she immediately jumps to one of the most obvious tropes. And so, look, people do think that he's a racist. Lara Trump might not like it. More voters think Donald Trump is a racist than thought George Wallace was in 1968, which is amazing. By the way, he is perfectly willing to declare things as being racist. He declared the US to have a bias against white people that may be worse than racism against Black Americans. And in that, he is very much like a lot of his base who enthusiastically say things like that on surveys. So anyway, I'm curious, Yaz, what you make of that back and forth between Lara Trump and Charlemagne.
Yeah, first of all, a lot of the articles and things that have come out about that interview said that Charlamagne the God like laughed in Lara Trump's face about what she said that Trump wasn't racist. Then when you watch it, he was just like, like it wasn't that serious. It's not like he was there cackling at her and being so incredibly disrespectful. But that's, the way the headlines portray it to be. And that's the way people are defending Lara Trump in this commentary. But I will say, you don't have to self-identify as a racist to be a racist, right? A lot of people who hold racist ideas do not see themselves as a racist. And I think you kind of touched on this a little bit when you were talking. There are many different facets and aspects of racism. You don't have to hold like a vitriolic, tangible hate for any particular group to hold racist views about them. And I think that's part of the problem. Whenever you think about racist people, the first thing that you tend to think about are, like the Klan and the people who are committing and defending hate crimes, which, by the way, Donald Trump has done, and the people going on racist rants on social media. So a lot of people will look at that and say, that's not me. So I'm not racist. I'm not one of those people. They're not my people. But there are much more subtle ways to be a racist. And some of the ways are not so subtle, but people like Lara Trump and the MAGA supporters can say, as long as he's not standing up there on a podium saying, I don't like Black people, I don't think Black people should have rights, I don't like Mexicans, I don't want them in my country. As long as he's not saying anything so explicit, they're not reading between any lines. They're not using any of their context clues. I don't know if they know how to do that, considering they're still, supporting Donald Trump. But they're really choosing not to see certain things. And Lara Trump going on the Breakfast Club of all places, like trying to make this point is really laughable. And she got what she had coming to her.
Yeah, he should have cackled, actually.
It would have been more fun for me if he had.
It would have. But he had fun. The birther lie, the idea that the first Black president of the United States obviously isn't a citizen. I mean, he couldn't be. Look at it. Look at that guy.
Hussein Obama.
Exactly. Yeah, she would have no problem with that. Kamala became a Black person. No, that's not racist at all. Obviously.
Not Kamala.
He's not questioning. No, come on. He's
Kamala.
not being racist.
He still can't get her name right because her name is so exotic and difficult to pronounce, right? That's not racist either. Yeah.
My impersonation was inaccurate because I implied that he actually can pronounce her name correctly. By the way, if a video came out right now of him shouting at someone that they were the N-word or whatever, Lara Trump would defend him as not being a racist. Like, can we be clear about that? There is no evidence that would pass because they don't care. They're not interested in whether he's a racist or not. The only reason you would really care about that is if you consider racism to be a bad thing, and clearly Lara Trump doesn't give an F about it. She cares about Donald Trump winning the race because her power, her influence is entirely based on the value of the name Trump. Okay, if he loses and then he goes off to just bothering people after dinner at Mar-a-Lago, what's left for Lara Trump? You think she's going to be the head of the RNC in 4 years if Donald Trump isn't in charge of the Republican Party? Again, this is not about giving an accurate reflection of who this person is. This is about saying whatever you think you need to say so that he can win the election.